The train slowed as it neared Camp Ruston. 19 German women pressed their faces against barred windows, fogged with dust and their own anxiety. They had been fed stories. America was weak, decadent, divided. Its people soft and morally corrupt. The guards appeared on the platform. 6 of them, towering over 6 feet, broad-shouldered, moving with an ease that was almost alien. Erika Schneider, 24 radio operator from Munich, whispered to the woman beside her, "They're bigger than we expected." The Atlantic crossing from Casablanca had taken 3 weeks aboard a converted troop transport. Below deck, in the cramped storage hold, the women had been sick and terrified, bracing for punishment. Instead, what awaited them now was something far stranger than cruelty. The American guards radiated calm authority. Not one shouted, not one threatened. Their presence alone conveyed control, confidence, and quiet strength. The women filed off the train, clutching the few possessions they had. Erika's legs trembled as she descended the steps, facing a red-haired sergeant whose hands could crush a stone, yet whose gaze was measured, even kind. "Name?" he asked in German. "Schneider, Erika Schneider." "Follow instructions, single file, bring your belongings." It was the first time Erika noticed the paradox. Physical might coupled with restraint, the power to harm, and the deliberate choice not to. The train rolled west. Fields stretched endlessly. Towns sparkled at night with electricity. Cattle grazed fat and healthy. Children played freely. The women watched in silence, unable to reconcile these scenes with decades of propaganda. "How?" Greta Hoffman, 31, whispered. "How are they so—" Erika didn't answer. She didn't need to. The realization was too stark. Germany had been fighting a nation stronger, healthier, and more abundant than anything they had imagined. At Camp Ruston, the barracks were austere but clean. Wooden bunks, wool blankets, a small stove, and shared bathrooms. The guards were firm but professional. Corporal Henderson, dark-haired and immense, guided them through the routines with a calm authority that never threatened, never taunted. The women sat in stunned silence, trying to process the normalcy of care and order. Meals were served in the mess hall. Roast beef, potatoes, vegetables, fresh bread. The women had not seen such abundance in years. In Germany, they had survived on watery soup and black bread. Tears slid down Greta's cheeks. "It's real," she whispered. "It's real." Days turned into weeks. Erika worked in camp administration, filing prisoner records under Sergeant Marcus Riley, the red-haired giant from the train platform. Riley was 32, from Nebraska, a man who towered not just physically, but morally. He knew the Geneva Convention by heart and enforced its provisions with meticulous fairness. "You have questions?" he asked one day. Erika hesitated. "Sir, how are you all so healthy? How can you fight a war and look like this?" Riley looked her in the eye. "Because America produces more than it consumes. Because we feed our people, feed our soldiers, even feed our prisoners. Propaganda lies, but reality cannot be hidden." It was the first time Erika understood fully that the propaganda she had trusted all her life was not just wrong, it was catastrophic. Germany hadn't lost because its people were inferior. It had lost because it had built a war machine on starvation, hate, and unsustainable ideology. Christmas arrived. The chaplain organized services in German. Red Cross packages arrived. Soap, chocolate, books. A small pine tree decorated the mess hall. American soldiers ate alongside prisoners. The guards stood neutral. Songs were sung. Hymns lifted voices that had grown hoarse from fear and doubt. The simple acts of kindness, food, warmth, respect, were revolutionary in their subtlety. Months passed. Reports of German defeats arrived through the camp radio. Ardennes had failed. The Soviet army pressed forward. Berlin was under siege. Erika worked, filed, cataloged, and tried not to dwell on what each document represented. The collapse of everything she had believed. One afternoon, Riley called her into his office. "You were a radio operator," he said. "You did your duty. You didn't fight. You didn't kill. You survived. And now when repatriation comes, you'll return home to help rebuild. But home is ruined, Erica whispered. Exactly, he said. And that's why your choices matter. One person at a time, ordinary people choosing decency. That's how nations rebuild. By April 1945, Germany's surrender was imminent. The camp brimmed with mixed dread and relief. Erica had learned every routine, memorized every guard, spoken English fluently. America felt familiar, almost unsettlingly so. When repatriation orders arrived in July, the women packed. The Rilke book, letters, a few mementos, everything fit into a small canvas bag. That night, Erica found Riley near the barracks smoking. "I want to thank you," she said, "for being bigger than we expected." Riley smiled. "We're all bigger than we need to be. We choose how to use it. Cruelty or mercy. You chose mercy. That's the lesson you carry forward." The train rolled through the lush Louisiana countryside, towns and farms passing by. Erica pressed her forehead to the window, remembering her family, Germany's ruins, and the paradoxical mercy of her captors. She would carry the lesson home. Strength without compassion is brutality. Winning without mercy is hollow. True strength is measured in the choice to treat others humanely, even enemies. Erica returned to Hamburg in August 1945. The city was rubble, her parents skeletal. She worked rebuilding homes and lives, raising a family, telling children that war is not glory, but a lesson in humanity. Sergeant Riley wrote to her for decades, annual letters, photographs, holiday greetings. They became threads linking two former enemies, connected by acts of quiet decency, teaching that mercy can outlast hatred. Erica Schneider died in 2003, aged 83. Among her possessions, letters from Riley and her Rilke book remained. At her funeral, her daughter read Erica's words. "You were bigger than we expected in every way, physically, morally, psychologically. You had the power to hurt us and chose kindness. That lesson shaped everything that came after. Mercy is strength. Remember that." The train slowed as it approached Camp Ruston, Louisiana, September 1944. 19 German women pressed their faces against barred windows, anxious and exhausted. Erica Schneider, 24 radio operator from Munich, whispered, "They're bigger than we expected." The Atlantic crossing from Casablanca had been brutal. 3 weeks in a converted troop transport. Sick, frightened, confined in the storage hold below deck, they had expected punishment. Instead, 6 American guards stood on the platform, towering, broad-shouldered, calm. Not a shout, not a threat, just presence. Erica descended the train steps. The red-haired sergeant in front of her looked like he could crush a stone with his hands, yet his gaze was steady, professional, almost kind. "Name?" he asked in German. "Schneider, Erica Schneider." "Follow instructions, single file, bring your belongings." The women filed out slowly. Across the compound, Americans moved with ease, carrying out their duties without tension. Erica's mind raced. How could a people so well-fed, confident, and strong exist alongside the propaganda she had believed her whole life? The barracks were functional but clean. Wooden bunks, wool blankets, a stove, shared bathrooms. Meals were served in the mess hall. Roast beef, potatoes, vegetables, bread, coffee, and fresh fruit. The women, accustomed to ration, soup, and black bread, stared in disbelief. Tears ran down Greta Hoffman's face. "It's real," she whispered. "It's real." Erica worked in the administration building under Sergeant Marcus Riley, the red-haired giant from the train. Riley was immense, over 6 feet tall, built like a soldier born for labor. But what struck Erica most was his competence. He knew the Geneva Convention by heart, spoke multiple languages, and treated prisoners with unwavering professionalism. "How are you all so healthy?" Erica asked one day. "Because America produces more than it consumes," Riley replied. "Your propaganda lied. Reality cannot be hidden. Strength doesn't require cruelty. Mercy is strength." Days turned into weeks. Christmas arrived. Red Cross packages, poetry books, chocolate, soap. Hymns in German rose from the mess hall as American soldiers stood nearby. Simple kindness became revolutionary in its subtlety. By spring 1945, Germany was collapsing. Berlin surrounded, surrender imminent. Erica had grown accustomed to camp life, mastering routines, speaking fluent English, understanding the Americans in a way that made Germany feel distant and foreign. Riley spoke quietly one evening. "You are bigger than you think, Schneider. Not in size, but in courage, in resilience, in choosing decency. That's how nations rebuild, one act at a time." When repatriation came, the women packed. Erica held her Rilke book, letters from home, memories of men who could have been cruel but chose kindness. On the truck to the train station, she looked at Riley one last time. "You were bigger than we expected," she said. "We're all bigger than we need to be," he replied. "We choose how to use it, mercy or cruelty. You chose mercy, remember that." The truck rolled through the lush Louisiana countryside. Erica thought of her ruined city, her starving parents, and the lesson that would guide the rest of her life. Strength without compassion is brutality. Mercy is the true power.